look at using superscript and subscript and when you might want to use them. So first of all, superscript. Common usage of superscript is for ordinal numbers like first, second, third, and so on. So a superscript goes near the top of the previous character, as a subscript goes near the bottom of the previous character. First, let's go ahead and set up our superscript preferences by going to InDesign, Preferences, Advanced Type Preferences. Right now it is set by default to reduce the size to 58%. You can also change the position here, but I'm going to leave it at 33.3%. I usually don't find a need to change the size or the position of the superscript. However, the subscript, I like to set it at about 20%. The subscript is used in chemistry like H2O, CO2, H2SO4, and so on. And as a reminder, the character is reduced to a percentage of the full-size capitals. Because the characters are not only reduced vertically but horizontally as well, this makes the characters appear kind of skinny when seen next to full-size characters. So if you're using an OpenType Pro font, you can use what is called OpenType Superior or OpenType Inferior characters to fix this skinny problem. So if there is an OpenType option available with the Superior and Inferior feature, you can find it under Options, OpenType menu, right here, Superior and Inferior. When using a superscript or subscript, I would suggest you create a character style for them. Let's do that now. I'm going to go to my Character Styles panel and create a new character style. I'm going to name it Superior Script. If we take a look under the character style, Basic Character Formats, and choose Position, I can see that I have an option for choosing OpenType Superior. This is available if I'm using a Pro font. So I'll leave it at that and click OK. Now I have my character style created. And if I type the number 12, for example, and select it, now when I apply my character style to it, you can see it's got the superior look to it. If I make a number 13 next to it and select it, and just apply the regular script to it from up here without my character style, you can see the difference. I prefer the superior much more. You may also want to apply a superscript to a footnote. So let's say we want to create a footnote. So first, let's set up our footnote options. Let's go to Type, Document Footnote Options to open an Options panel. Here I can adjust exactly how I want my footnote to look and where I want it to go. Let's take a look at the position here. With this drop-down menu, I'm going to select Apply Superscript. I can also apply a character style to my superscript here. You'll notice we see the character style that we've already created, Superior Script. So I want that extra bold look that we have associated with our character style to apply to this footnote. Again, this is only available if you have the extended character set provided by a Pro font. Also, you have a Layout tab up here where you can specify more details on how you want your footnote to look and where you would like it to be placed. I can choose from all different types. Let's say I want a thick dashed rule. Let's make sure our rule is on, and we'll make sure our rule is above and leave it at first footnote in column. Let's choose a 2-point weight. Normally this wouldn't look that appropriate, but for illustration purposes we'll go for it. We'll go ahead and leave our space before and between footnotes at 5 points. I choose my dashed line here. I will click OK, and I'll place my cursor where I want my footnote to go and go to my Type menu and choose Insert Footnote. It added my footnote, and I can now type in whatever I need at the bottom of my page. I'll just type in here, I love using footnotes, they rock. Now let's take a closer look at my superscript InDesign created for my footnote. I'm just going to zoom in here really close. You can see that the Superior Script character style was applied. Again, I'll put the number 12 in here and select it, then add a default script to it from my character formatting tools, and you can see the difference. Just like before, I still like the Superior even better. And of course, if I change my mind down the road, I can simply change my character style and it will apply to all of my superscripts. Everything works the same with the subscripts. Now let's talk a moment about drop caps. There are actually 3 different ways to create a drop cap and to change its preferences. Of course, you can just select any character and just create a drop cap up here in my paragraph formatting options. Now notice if I select a character in the middle of the paragraph, it only applies the drop cap to the first character of the paragraph. I can't imagine why you would need a drop cap in the middle of a paragraph, because that's not usually where they go. So InDesign uses proper formatting rules and applies it to the first character of the paragraph. And of course, if I choose 1 for the number of drop cap lines, we don't see a change because it's already taking up 1 line of text. Has to be 2 or more. Here it is set all the way up to 5, but I'll go ahead and set it at 3 lines for now. So that's the easiest way to create a drop cap. Another way is to come into my paragraph panel and you will see the same options here, including my drop cap set at 3 lines. Let's select another character in another paragraph and make another drop cap. Probably the best way to create a drop cap and have the most flexibility with it is to go into my options drop down menu and select drop caps and nested styles. It will then open this option dialog box. Let's make sure our preview is checked, and let's go ahead and make our drop cap at 3 lines again. I can also scale my drop caps for descenders. So if I had a character like a lowercase g that went below the baseline and I didn't want it to crowd the next line below, I could check this and it would scale it down accordingly. I can apply a character style to my drop cap the same way I did with my superscript. I can even select the option to make a new character style here, which I will do. I'll name this test drop cap just for illustration purposes. Let's choose a fancy font here. Let's go with the Snell round hand, and we'll go with bold. Let's change our color to blue. We want to make sure we don't have a stroke, so we'll change the stroke to none and the fill to blue. There we go, that looks nice. You'll notice that the drop cap seems awful close to the letters in the paragraph. I'm just going to place my cursor in between the drop cap and the first character of the paragraph, and holding down Option and Command, I'll click the right and left arrows to give it a little more space. You'll notice it pushes the whole paragraph over, giving it a less claustrophobic feel with more breathing room. And of course, if I ever want to change the color of my drop cap, I can change my character style by selecting Edit Test Drop Cap and changing it to, say, red. And then it applies to all characters that have that style applied to it. So let's select this paragraph that begins with a lowercase q and go into our drop caps options. Now we'll add a line of 3, make sure our preview is turned on, and scale for descenders is checked. And you can see the difference. So that is how you would set up options and preferences for subscripts, superscripts, and drop caps.